Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is you're watching this. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. You may have forgotten who I am. It's been a week since I was last on.
Yeah, literally a week.
A week away from the scoop. But my name, as you can see on screen now, right now, if you're watching on Twitch or on the YouTube video, my name is Graham Day, and I'm joined by the man that you will be more familiar with if you've been around for the last week. It's Baby.
Good morning. I see that we're both dressed in tracksuits today.
Yeah, I've gone full on one colour tracksuit because so let's bring you in. Let's bring you in close. I've still got nameplates on screen. Let's get rid of the nameplates. Hi. So I've got creamy brownie, whatever, coffee mocha colour.
It's definitely a mocha colour, yeah.
So and then full tracksuit pants, and then do you know what? Let's take the hoodie off and mocha colour.
Jesus Christ, it's got a uniform.
Shout out to Adidas who kidded me out this morning. Or Adidas, if you bib. It's Adidas.
Adidas, mate. Cherry Styles. And I'm literally just Adidas tracksuit bottoms, Adidas trainers, and a black hoodie.
Lads. If you are in your most comfortable tracksuits and stuff, then please let us know in the chat. And if you are not, then also please let us know. Like I said, if you're in the chat, we want to know you are here because, well, I've not been here for a week. I need to know who's still around. I mean, no doubt you've multiplied in my absence because that's literally the only reason I'm here is to keep people away. Good morning. Anyway, this is Ice Cream Uploads, and the show you're watching right now is The Scoop. We go live at 10 a.m. each and every single weekday on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. We also turn this into a YouTube video, so if you are watching on YouTube now, hi. Don't forget to hit the like button, by the way. Cheers, thanks. After the show finishes on Twitch, we turn this into said YouTube video about an hour or so, which we upload. About an hour or so after we finish, we upload it to YouTube, should I say. And then a little bit later on in the day, we turn this show into an audio podcast too on Twitch. Not Twitch. Oh my God, you can tell I've had a week off. Actually, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play. So, yes. If you are listening to us, then, do you know what? Hi. If you're watching on YouTube, hi. Hit the like button. And if you're on Twitch, then hi again. Please let us know in the chat. And like I say, if you are on Twitch, it's important that you do let us know in the chat because everyone else that gets the on-demand version of the content, they have the ability to pause us, particularly turn the volume down when I'm chatting, maybe, or whatever. But
I don't think so, mate.
You can do whatever you want to do, but you can't get involved in the live chat. You can use the comments on YouTube, you just can't get involved live. But if you are on Twitch, then feel free to do that, because you are the people that get to have this conversation. You get to give your thoughts and opinions on our thoughts and opinions, and that's what counts. Well, you get up to this weekend knowing that you were...
on my own,
unsupervised.
Yes, that's pretty much the right term to put it. So Samantha left at 11 o'clock on Saturday. 12 o'clock on Saturday, I fired up the stream. She forgot to do something, so I had to move away for like 15 minutes while she fucked up. So
I'm interested to know what this is, but the fact that you keep saying she's got to do something makes me think that you're not.
Well, I don't know if it's illegal or not.
Okay, we'll talk about this off air.
I don't actually know if it's illegal or not. It's nothing. Like, for me, it doesn't seem anything major, but I imagine it could be. I don't know. Like, I can't say anything.
Basically, long story short, he has like 3 Cambodian children working in his basement. I mean, they make the best sweatshirts. Where do you think this Adidas tracksuit came from?
So I had to go and finish that off for her. Because she was boarding a flight and she completely forgot to do it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's illegal.
Check the UV bulbs and make sure they're fully watered. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Plant a few more seeds as well. And then obviously after that, it was just 5 hours of streaming until the City was on, and then came back after City, and then carried on streaming again till about 11:30 when I had to go to bed for the Fury fight, which was stupid. I got to set my alarm every half an hour just in case I might have missed like the first couple of rounds, but so 9 hours on Saturday I streamed for 2 hours of The Division, and then the rest just playing FIFA.
See, I was on board until you started playing FIFA, and I was like, no, so this, and then turned off the stream and loaded up FIFA. I was like, baby's open his PAX East. I want to see what I get.
You know what, like, as much as I am a Pro Evo player, like, Ultimate Team is head and shoulders above my club in terms of what there is to play for. Like, the whole objectives, and I spent literally all weekend trying to get this Daniel James right mid card. I've got him in his 3rd form. I haven't got him in his 4th yet, because you need to like beat the computer and legendary and stuff like that. I'm never going to be able to do that. So I've got him as an 82 right winger at the moment. I'm pretty happy about. I've built a half decent team, but the teams I've gone up against, like when I say God squads, I mean like they have been grinding for that team that they've got. Yeah. So it's an uphill battle.
And they've been grinding
for
6 months as well. Yeah. You've been like, I've been absolutely smashing this for 8 hours on stream today.
So it's going to be an uphill battle. At the moment, I'm not that arsed about losing. Like, it's such a shit thing to say because I'm playing online. I've got people watching me, and obviously they either want me to win or they want me to lose. But because I've got things to play for, like I just need to score a low-driven shot with Daniel James or
assist with a Serie A player or whatever.
Yeah, so it's definitely something to aim for. So if you lose, it's not the end of the world because you're working your way to getting a better team. It's not that bad.
See, I like that stuff. So like, it was score 2 with Daniel James to unlock the next one or something like that, and then it was like you had a volley one or a score 2 low-driven shots and stuff like that, which that means you have to play with Daniel James, which for newbies like us, where it's like, well, that's fine because he's the best player in my team. So
yeah, absolutely. All right. Why do you think I've been grinding for this?
But then for everyone else that is 6 months down the line, suddenly like Team of the Year Ronaldo's like, he's going to have to sit out because I need James as my striker kind of thing. So it gives you a reason to mix things up. And then when you get those other ones, I mean, I don't know if they're, I mean, if there's any FIFA guys in the chat, please feel free to let us know. But I know there was RB Leipzig challenges, score 2 goals or assist 2 goals with an RB Leipzig player to unlock the next one. And it's like, doing that then kind of makes you think, oh, well, I'm not just going to play Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe kind of thing. I'm going to have Timo Werner, a reference because he's my RB Leipzig player. I'm going to play him, and then Daniel James and Odegaard, who's like the other like side kind of thing. I'm going to play those 3 in my team, even though it's going to be crap because I can do the challenges and stuff. And then that kind of breaks down that God squad mentality. I mean, not to the point that everyone you were playing with God squads, but that's pretty much all you get on most football games. Anyway, anything to break that down a bit, to give you a reason to not play your 99 overall kind of thing, that's the kind of goal you want.
Well, the teams that I would like to say, the teams that I was going up against was God squads, and for someone who hasn't, their FIFA knowledge is literally pro clubs where I'm just playing with one player. So I don't have to think about the rest of the other 10 players on the team, because usually Michael will cover 6 of them and then we'll fill up the rest of the slots. And then Volta, which is just an absolute mishmash of a game mode, as in you're just doing step over and doing tricks and shit like that at a whim. So having to get used to putting my players in certain positions and then learning the little fundamentals like doing drag backs and doing turns in certain directions. So I've got used to, like, on PES I play FIFA controls, but the only thing that I can't switch is the L2 and the R1. So like on FIFA, L2's to jockey, whereas on PES it's R1. So I keep on getting them the wrong way around, but on FIFA, R1 is doing drag backs and doing the little nifty turns to move into space, which I couldn't get my head around. So I was just playing it like it was PES, which is the wrong thing to do because it's a completely different game. The engine's completely different. The players do not move like they do in PES. So I was getting slammed. Like at one point, I think we mentioned it before, I went 1-0 up and then just got panned 3-1 because I was trying to defend like it was PES.
He gave the pad to his brother.
Yeah, the guy just like came out of the blocks. He finally started playing, and there was instances on stream this weekend where I was getting beat like 8-2, 8-3. There was a time where there's a guy that was 4-0 up and I got it back to 4-all, and I thought, this is it now, I'll just take the draw. And then he just switched it on again. I don't know whether or not he was just taking the piss, waiting for me to get to that, and then he just switched it back on. His team I was just getting beat left, right and centre, but the fact that I've now got a decent team because I've been working to building my squad around it, I'm getting draws against teams that I should never have been getting draws against. Now, people will say it's down to scripting, but I was literally defending like 90% of the game, and it was just utter FIFA ball, like go to the other end, grab a goal, defend, and then just beat him on the counter. But what am I supposed to do with the team that I've got? I can't outplay these players because the 7 or 8 ratings above my players they're a lot better at defending than I am, and they've got
more pace, more strength, more everything. They've got a bit more of it. So,
well, not necessarily just down to the team. The player could have been playing playing FIFA for the last 10 years, so they know all the fundamentals of how the game works more than I do. Like if they went over
when we played pro clubs that time before Christmas, and I was like, the most annoying thing for me is not knowing the nuances of like when to play that pass. I know like the animation, if the ball's out of your feet and you press to pass it, you're just going to stretch it, you're not going to get it. If it's too far under your feet, you're just going to kind of like hoof it to try to dig it out kind of thing. Playing facing the wrong direction, or how to do your turns, or knowing like where each touch of the ball is going to be in the link of the animations. It's stuff like that. Whereas in FIFA, it's like, I'm going to turn. Yeah. And you're thinking, I'm midway through a turn. Whereas anyone else is seeing, you're miles away from where you should be turning there.
Well, the worst part of it at the moment is when I'm clean through with someone like Daniel James, who's got so much pace, and Martial on the other side, I've put is it like the Catalyst card or something like that? So he's gone from 89 pace to 99 now. So I can break the back line, and it's the chance of someone catching me, unless they've got a fast defender, is non-existent. But I keep on getting into the final third, and I think, I've got one more touch to get into the box, and then I can smack it. That's what I do on PES. But on this, the touches are so dramatic in front of them that I'm just...
Keeper.
Yeah, the keeper's just bringing the keeper out. So it's just... Defending, I'm all right at doing now, to a degree. But when I get into the final third, it's just my decision making. I'm getting chances I'm not finishing because I'm doing dumb shit like that. That people who would be playing FIFA would just be screaming down the microphone.
Chip it or drive it or whatever. I see a lot more like power shots. Good PES players can shoot with power on it, but they don't always. More often than not, it's a little dink or it's a finesse shot or it's a layoff for a sweaty pass and then occasionally a shot. But whenever I watch FIFA players, they play bang, like usually driving it across the goal kind of thing, and it's that sort of stuff. Well, welcome to my life playing you. That's why I always wanted to play co-op with you, as opposed to play against me.
Now I've unlocked. I've got the icon Lampard. I've got him for like another 7 games, but I've learned how to do the driven shot now, which again getting my head around that. Holding L1 and R1 to be able to do a low driven shot, and my head just go. Poof. But his low driven shot is like unbelievable. You get him like 20 yards out. If you're slapping that ball, it's probably going to go in. Like the amount of times that... I mean, I loved Frank Lampard anyway. Especially, even at Chelsea, like, he's just one of them players that I just think, fuck, he's got something about him, that lad. He is dynamite, and then he signed for City and still managed to score 8 goals as like a 36-year-old. Like, he's still got it from midfield. But there's no one... Him and Gerrard was two of the easily the better... And Scholes, for that matter. Within 20 yards, if you've got an opportunity to shoot, let them shoot, because they're going to hit the target, and more often than not it's going to go in. So it's amazing to be able to play with these kind of players again, and especially in a game that when you can smack the ball in that game, you can fucking smack the ball.
Yeah, that's one thing that you've not been able to do. I remember playing like PES 2011, 12, 13, 14, somewhere around that time, and I got one of the like Master League players that's like a fake name. It's like, what was he called? I can't remember. Anyway, some big Polish dude kind of thing up front, and then they had a big German dude further back in my midfield. And anyway, the ball landed this German dude. He was a bit shit at everything, but he could smack a ball. So it just like ping, and you get woof, rockets top corner. And I can't do that. I mean, I can do that. You get it every now and then.
Yeah.
But there's this kind of a borderline. You want it to not be all the time because you're just not going to appreciate it. It becomes an exploit.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to be so rare that you just... it's nice having it rare, so when you score it, you think, "Oh, that was all me." But when it's so rare, you think, "Oh, well, that was luck," and you just...
It's a nice balance in between, isn't it?
You don't want too much luck, because you think, "Well, I didn't." There's a little bit deep down that goes, "That was a banger," but I didn't really score it. I just got lucky with it. You want it to come to you and hit it, and knowing that if you've got it right and the keeper's in the the wrong spot, and you hit the right position and it's going in, you want to know that you can do those. And I just... The balance on PES at the moment, I don't take the shots. I feel like I'm just wasting an opportunity. I'm more in the mindset of a PES League player, where I've got to push forward and increase my percentage scoring chances. The risk isn't worth it, kind of thing. Whereas I've scored an absolute banger with Ruben Loftus-Cheek on my last game of FIFA. They're bang outside the box.
Well, that's the benefit at the moment. Like, I'm just going to carry on playing it, because at the moment I'm working my way through the objectives. I'm not going to be able to get a better Daniel James, but the Odegaard one, as much as I like him, he's not going to be in my squad like now. The Acuna one, I've only got like 2 more left before I can start to bring him in as well. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. But enough about what I've been doing. You've been off for a week. You text me saying that you've been pissed for 4 days on Friday. What have you been doing during that time?
I wasn't really pissed for 4 days. I wasn't pissed for a couple. We had a few drinks. My mate Martin came back from the army, so he stayed over. So we had a few nights drinking, playing Battlefield 5 at like 2:00 in the morning.
I seen that when I logged onto the PlayStation. It dinged up saying that you'd unlock some achievements or whatever.
Yeah, it basically just got absolutely melted because we were a few beers in at that point. Like, started on the gins. Daniel went to bed, so we carried on gins. Oh, let's have some Unreal as well. So yeah, both just taking it in turns, like. That was pretty decent, actually.
What do you think about Outfield?
I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah, it's a good game, isn't it?
Solid in terms of gameplay. I mean, solid in terms of difficulty when you're starting it a year behind everyone else, pretty much. But I enjoyed it.
What was the best profile that you played with?
I was drunk.
Yeah, you see, the engineer. I'll always love being an engineer, putting all the rocks up and stuff like that.
Class.
The class, not the profile.
I didn't really. I used engineer. Engineers have LMGs, don't they? Or is that medics? I usually go assault. And Martin's usually an engineer class if we play co-op stuff. But because this was just a bit of everything, it was like 1 minute I'd be a medic, 1 minute I'd be an engineer. I didn't mind being a medic because I managed to res a few people. But I hate playing when you've got medics near you because you're like, and it's like, no mate.
Yeah, I don't understand that. If you what was the terminology that you play the objective? So if you are a medic, then the amount of points that you get for being a medic by rezzing people, it defeats the objective.
Literally
you not doing
keep
it.
the team pushing forward rather than sending him back to point alpha or whatever.
So when I was playing the engineer, I'd hold the base and then we'd get it. So then I can start to rebuild it again because that's where you get your points because you're rebuilding your base. You are an engineer. You want to repair tanks. You want to be able to fortify your base. So I don't understand why people would want to be those classes and they're not using. Yeah,
I mean they do it for the weapons, but they're also weapons themselves. But other than that, guess what else I played?
I'm actually going to ask you because genuinely I know that you're going to be playing PUBG, but did you actually play Fortnite yet?
Didn't. I haven't played it at all. I genuinely thought I'd get a WhatsApp from Streamer Babe on some point through Saturday or whatever going, do you fancy a few games of Fortnite?
Well,
and I'd have been like, yeah, all right then.
The only time I played is when I've literally been in handheld mode. Like yesterday at my mum's when I went up, I played it there for a bit, got another dub. Obviously I'm playing on Switch, so it's just full of fucking kids. But I've got 2 dubs in 3 games so far. Got in this morning, Lewis went, squad's on dinner. I was like, obviously. So we got 4 consoles, me, you, Jack, and him. We can get on. But I think I'm level 10 so far. It's weird now though. Like I'm so used to the old menu. Menu's completely different now. Yeah, so it's going to get used to getting used to it again.
It's getting used to the things like the middle of the map where there's that like basically the MI6 base. Yeah. And there's like rather than stormtroopers, there's those ghost agents or whatever. I've seen a few streams of people playing it, and I'm just like, huh?
Well, the objectives go up on your screen now.
How do they?
Yeah, so when you come into the map, your objectives stay, well, whichever one you've chosen, you can track. They stay in the top left-hand corner. So if they're broken down into like areas, so it'll be like challenge 1, and then it'll be a set. Challenge 2, there'll be a set. So whichever one you choose, it'll stay in. Well, it has on my Switch anyway. It stayed in the top left-hand corner, so it'll say drop a Slurpee and open 7 chests, and it'll stay there.
See, I like that because that was one of my biggest things last time. Was like you open up your objectives on the screen, and because I'd got those, what were the stretch goals, or whatever they're called, it just gave me all the stretch goals, and it's like my dailies were the next page down, but I couldn't get to them when I'm in mid-game like stuff, other than pausing it, going into the menu, going to challenges and going down it. It's like proper disconnect from the game doing that. It's like I'm literally about 70 bajillion kills away from doing that. That one I need to get one more slurp, but I can't remember what it is, and you're not letting me see it.
So yeah, I played a couple of games of that this weekend.
I didn't play a single game. I will do. I will get the season pass. Instead, I've been smashing my way through PUBG season pass. A few wins over the weekend. Absolute clutch play yesterday though. I was playing with Chris Phelps, aka Hulkamania78. If he's in the chat, he probably isn't. He's at work this morning. But playing with him, I was playing with him and my mate Nathan. We got a squad win. Nathan dropped off, so we dropped into duos. Went to Carrick in the new like run and gun map. Michael Carrick, yep. And it got down to the final 5 people. Me and Chris a duo, another duo, and a random solo. Chris got dropped, so it's me, a solo, and another duo. The other solo got dropped, so it's me versus a duo. I'm sat in this building that's just been hit by a mortar strike, so the building's gone. I'm sat there in the rubble of the building thinking, I can see a guy there, he's coming down that way. See a guy there, he's coming this way. I'm thinking, I'm getting flanked. So I was like, if I take one down, I'll be happy enough with it. Anyway, this guy came down the side, so I turned to him, AK, dropped him. Other guy's coming up, he's lobbed one of those sticky bombs. So I'm like, oh fuck, reload. So I'm behind the wall, reloading. Just as he gets there, I go running at him, like, not even ADSing, just like, fucking took him down, won the game, clutch play. I was like, but anyway, that's enough about what we've been doing. What have you guys been doing? If you're in the chat, please feel free to let us know. I know Abs Plays has been here for a while now. He said, hello. What did he say, babe?
Hello.
Hey.
I feel a bit snotty this morning, mate.
I could tell.
Can you not feel it? Can you not feel it?
No, I can do.
A bit nasally.
And also, thanks for the host ads as well. Very, very much appreciated. What have you been up to on the weekend, apart from, getting added to my PSN? I get so many random requests and stuff that I just don't bother looking at. Unless someone says to me, did you get my PSN ad now? I just go...
Well, I've got PS_girl 1789, PS_girl 1876, PS girl 18... So yeah, it's just loads of
Hi, you sound nice. Delete. Yeah. But anyway, let's jump into our first proper bit of news of the day. It's nice to have a bit of a chinwag. Like I say, if you are watching this on YouTube, please feel free to have a chinwag in the comments. And if you're on Twitch, obviously, feel free to say hello, just like Asplays did it. Was watching Bebe. Watch Fury and played PES. Good lad.
Yeah, he was literally with me all day Saturday. I very much appreciate that. He was giving me tips and tricks on what to do in FIFA because I'm fucking useless.
Yeah, I've no idea. Like I said, I started and I knew bits from watching you, but yeah, that was my first dabble in Ultimate Team. I enjoyed it, but then again, it's no PUBG, so anyway, let's jump into our first bit of news. Are we good to go? Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are.
Oh, that one. Yes, I can remember how to do buttons. CD Projekt Red is now the second biggest video game company in Europe. Only Ubisoft keeps it from the top spot. This is written by Vikki Blake for Eurogamer.net. She says CD Projekt Red has become the second largest video game company in Europe, second only to Ubisoft in terms of its market valuation. Though it's valued at $6.8 billion just a month ago, it's now hit $8 billion following the release of the acclaimed Witcher 3 on Nintendo Switch, sending its sales rocketing by 500%. And the success of its Netflix show, thanks Reddit, the highly anticipated Cyberpunk 2077, despite its recent delay, has also likely had an impact. Ubisoft, on the other hand, is currently valued at around $9.6 billion. In other CD Projekt Red news, CD Projekt news, the developer recently introduced the Witcher 3 save file integration between Switch and PC via Steam and GOG. Sadly, there's no such good news for console players. Let me just start that. In that, you can transfer your game save from PC to Switch and back. Yes. Nice. The reason for this is because the option was designed for the Switch version specifically. Together with Saber Interactive, the team which was closely cooperating with us on the Switch port, CD Projekt said there are no plans regarding similar functionality in the other versions of The Witcher 3. That's class. I love that. Mm-hmm. Very few games. I mean, I think I've probably mentioned this like twice when we've spoken about this before. Very few games offer you the ability to transfer that progression. I mean, obviously it's becoming more and more apparent now, but having that on Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on PS3 and I think it was Vita.
Yeah, it was Vita.
Having that between those two was class. Being able to get to Selino Yarsk or whatever, one of the areas in Snake Eater, and thinking, fuck, I need to jump on the bus or I need to go to London or whatever, just downloading it, transferring it to my Vita, and then playing it on the train, and then as I get back, transferring it back. Class.
Yeah, it's the only other game that I know that have done that with previously, Football Manager 2014 on the PC and then Vita. You'll be able to do it between them two as well. But the fact that they're not putting it on console is another massive favour in Nintendo's side, purely because it just shows that. They say the PC master race, like if you're a PC player, chances are you're probably not going to play on your console that much if you're predominantly a PC player. The only other way that you can play this is out of NVIDIA GeForce or now your Nintendo Switch in certain cases, so it means that PC trust Nintendo just as much as any other console, because if you don't play your PC anywhere else but at home. It's a PC, it's not a laptop.
It's that having, you've got your console choice, Xbox or PlayStation, or PC.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not a console. I understand PC Master Race. Chill out. Chill out. I'm one of you. It's fine. But then your alternative.
Yeah.
As it was said before, on one of the previous streams, you've got your console and then your alternative, and Switch is the alternative. The fact that it's alternative means that PC players go, well, I've got no issue with having that and that. It's a different thing. It's not, if I'm going to play games at home, I'm on my PC. I don't need a PlayStation, don't need an Xbox.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go out or do anything elsewhere, I'll have a Switch for that,
So it's the perfect marriage, shall we say, for this. It's interesting that it's the threshold in which this has then propelled them to be the second biggest video game company in Europe is the release of it on Switch.
I mean, one thing that I'm intrigued about, which I don't have the details, and I wonder if it'll be on that link. Oh no, that's the Netflix stuff. One thing that I'd be intrigued about is what companies are classed as being European companies. So I'm assuming
CD Projekt are the Polish, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're based in Poland.
Yeah, just over the water from CI, I believe. I'm fairly sure Asim mentioned that to me before. The office was just over. Anyway, I can't remember. So yeah, these guys are European. Ubisoft, obviously European. Are they based in France? I'm pretty sure they're based in France. But then Rockstar started off in Glasgow. Obviously, that's where the houses and stuff kick things off. But are they classed as being an American company?
I don't know. I thought Take-Two are Rockstar as well, aren't they? So they were based in London, weren't they?
Well, it depends. They've got different offices. So there's an office in Windsor, which is Take-Two Interactive. But Take-Two own Rockstar, so it's probably a case of... I mean, Rockstar's probably just a subsidiary of Take-Two, and Take-Two's probably Santa Monica or something like that. Not that, I know it's Santa Monica, I'm just guessing it. Big American places where there's a lot of brands. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that list looks like, because jumping all the way up to second sounds like a huge achievement, but it depends on if it's literally Ubisoft and then like Rovio Games that made Angry Birds or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not that big an achievement, but I don't actually know what, because it'll be all based on where head office is based and whether you're a registered company in that region or not. I don't know how that works. So sounds like a big achievement, but I mean it is. I mean if one company deserves that level of achievement, if it is an achievement, it's got to be CD Projekt at the moment, with obviously Witcher 3, 4 years old now, whatever it is, 5 years old now. Smashed it, won all the awards. I remember being sat at the golden joysticks as CD Projekt were just kind of going up and getting another award, going up and getting another award. So huge game, but they didn't just kind of rest on that. They then built on that, marketed that in such a way that people are still buying it now and adding a 500% increase in sales by bringing out a new. According to Wiki, Rockstar is now US based. Thank you, David. So they've built on that way. Then they've obviously got the TV show, but rather than just resting on the laurels, they've gone, okay, let's go on an ambitious project with Cyberpunk. But then rather than just going, we've got a new game, Cyberpunk, the way that they've done their marketing, obviously we've spoken about the Keanu Reeves moment at E3 last year, and they know how to do things. They are marketing really, really well. And I mean, they took Holly Bennett from PlayStation Access. They've got to have a good roadmap in mind to be able to take.
Well, do you think that they had the opportunity to take risks with their marketing campaign? Because the only thing that I don't want to say the only thing that they obviously had the Witcher franchise, which was massive, but the Witcher 3 came out, I want to say in 2016.
I thought 15, but it's somewhere around there anyway. Yeah,
so that's now if it's 2015 or 2016, 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, it should be 2014 now.
Yeah. We'll go with that for the time being. I don't think that they released any other games beforehand, so they could take the risk with The Witcher, for instance, porting it over to the Switch, because they are guaranteed to get sales, especially with the fact that I'd never played Witcher 3 beforehand until I had it in my catalogue, and I played like an hour of it. But for me, an hour isn't me playing a game. That's me just having a quick dabble, dipping my toe in. That's not the way that I fucking play games anyway. The rate that I go through them, me playing a game for an hour is nothing. That's basically not even the epilogue or whatever it's called at the beginning of this game.
Prologue. Epilogue's the end bit.
It's what, the prologue? Yeah, the prologue. Sorry. Yeah, playing the prologue. It's not even, and it's longer than an hour. So me playing it for that long, but I wasn't interested again in revisiting it until I started watching the show, and I finished the show and I was like, it's quenched my thirst for a bit more Witcher. And to be fair, playing it on the Switch probably would be the more ideal way for me to be able to play it, so I'm not just locked into playing it on my PlayStation. But yeah, it's it's interesting that they can take the risks that they have done with Cyberpunk, because the marketing, it's not a risk with how high profile their marketing strategy has been with it. Like I said, having Keanu Reeves coming out and being a playable character inside, that has obviously mocapped and voice acting and things like that. I imagine there's a lot more in store for us in that side, but wetting the whistle with bringing that kind of marketing to everybody else is, for me, it's probably the most hyped game available this year.
Yeah.
Not barring Resident Evil 3, obviously. But for the wider world, Cyberpunk is a world that I want to be a part of, and I can't wait to get involved in.
Just moving closer to the mic, I realised I was like getting further and further away.
With the fact that we have got with the fact that we have got Resident Evil, Final Fantasy VII remake coming out, and also Cyberpunk, The Last of Us 2 as well. So we've got a lot of top games coming out. So their marketing strategy, I think, for the whole of Cyberpunk is phenomenal. Really, they've got a lot of competition coming, but taking risks is paying off, and when you're the second most valuable company in Europe now, it's obviously paying off somewhere down the line, whether or not it's through The Witcher or Cyberpunk. There's a collection of games there that people now are getting behind and starting to root for.
Yeah, I think they definitely had the opportunity to be to gamble a bit more with their marketing, to try new things, because other than the Witcher games, what really else have they released? I mean, obviously, Gwent, still Witcher, but other than that, there's not much that CD Projekt Red have worked on that's had that sort of level. Yes, they were up there with The Witcher 3, one of the best games ever, according to many people.
Saints Row 2.
There you go, Saints Row 2.
And literally, the back catalogue games, according to what I'm looking at now, is not...
It's all Witcher based.
Pretty much, yeah, apart from Saints Row 2. So
yeah, they had huge success on a game that they've done a lot with, on a series they've done a lot with, but not had much success. So they weren't necessarily guaranteed the same level of success again. So they thought, okay, well, we have to roll the dice here. If we roll the dice, we can come in big, or we can just go back to what we were before. Mm-hmm. And they've rolled the dice, done it really well, and now they're absolutely smashing it. Number one Pirate says, hello, sorry for being late, I apologise. It's not good enough.
It is bang out of order, mate.
Honestly. Literally having to type ! socials in the chat on our own. And because we have to do it, we've not done it. Because, no. Feel disappointed. But thank you very much for the host. Good morning. Welcome. Is chatbot logged in?
Probably not. Well, you tried it this weekend, didn't you? And it didn't work. So.
Well, so even if you type it, that's it. We logged chatbot out because you weren't here, Pirate. Number one.
As soon as you said chatbot, then I was like, oh, Jesus.
So yeah, CD Projekt Red smashed it with The Witcher 3. They hadn't done anything to that level before. So all they could do then is either go back to... Anonymity is a shit word, but let's just run with it because it's Monday morning, and requiring additional words requires mental power that I don't have. So they can either go back to anonymity and do more of The Witcher 2. I mean, a lot of people hadn't heard of The Witcher or The Witcher 2 before Witcher 3 came along. It's fact, and I was one of those people. I'd never played them. I'd seen them, to be fair, but I'd never played them. They could have been another... they could have been another one of all of those sort of like Middle Ages / Viking / whatever games. Not that I'm saying that is a Viking game, but you see loads of them that just get kind of churned out. It could have been another one of those. So they could have just gone back into making, oh look, another one of these games. They didn't though. That rather than making more of the same, they thought, okay, we will go big. We will use The Witcher 3's power to create a Netflix series. We will use our exposure to create a brand new IP, and we'll heavily invest in that, and we'll use the success of our storytelling, our mechanics, and everything that we've had with... Is that connected?
No, it requires the token.
Click on generate token. Then you've got to log in.
Yeah.
Do you know the deets?
Not off the top of my head, but I think it'll take...
Never mind. This is social media on the fly.
Morning, Coplexus. How you doing? Wait, chatbot is Jesus? Yeah, it is.
Oh, we need you don't get a keyboard there, have you?
Nope.
Never mind. Okay, we'll leave chatbot. Coplexus, hi. So yeah, long story short, I've kind of waffled over it a bit then, whilst also being distracted. You can tell I can't multitask. Yeah, they either go back to anonymity or they roll the dice and see if it pays off. And they've rolled the dice, and at this point, it's paying off.
Absolutely. For me, it's definitely a world that I want to be in. Ever since watching Ready Player One, and that kind of environment it's like, yes, that's a bit of me.
So
that I need that.
VR haptic suits, running pads.
The haptic suits are on the way, aren't they, mate? I've seen adverts many a time over on Instagram. So if they can get one in size fat, I'd be more than happy to demo it for you.
I do want to withdraw a statement. I say we need VR and haptic suits. Then I said also running track pads. Don't want any running pads. I want to play games sat down.
I'd love to be able to do it. I mean, I'd probably lose weight more.
Yeah, but I can't be asked with that. I want to be a chunky old man. Anyway, jumping onto our next bit of news. So obviously, if you just jumped in, CD Projekt Red is now the second biggest video game company in Europe. But now onto another company that's, in Europe, that's everywhere, and they are already particularly massive. But just actually, before we jump into that, it's not just the Witch series and their marketing, they get it, but the studio ethos, putting fans and consumers first, played a huge part in their success. Absolutely. And that's the thing, is they've got to that level of success. Just having that ethos and those skills, and obviously we all know there's a bit of luck in terms of being successful. You need to have the right thing at the right place at the right time, saying the right words.
Ultimately, it needs to be a good game as well, though.
But even then, quite a few good games have either been positioned wrongly or what. Yeah. So they've got that magic mix of having the right game, having the right mentality, and having the luck and the big bang moment. But then, rather than going, are we going to sit on this? They've gone, fuck it, make hay while the sun shines. But in making hay, they've built themselves using that customer-centric ethos and all of the right way of thinking. Then they've built on that. They've made their hay, and now they're sat there in big fuck off pile of haystacks, going, yeah, Keanu Reeves, motherfuckers.
Right, well, while you read this, I need to go and change this fucking Blackpool Corporation pop is shit. So I need to go and change this water because it's fucking rank.
Right. Okay, well, I will jump into the next bit of news. As you can see,
do you want water as well?
I'm okay. I've still got some of this left. So next bit of news on screen: EA reportedly cancelled a Star Wars Battlefront spin-off last year. Too many cooks was a running theme, say sources. Once again written for Eurogamer by Vikki Blake. This one was updated yesterday. It was actually written last week, but because there was an update yesterday, we picked it up again. And it says, we've been awash with rumours of cancelled Star Wars games in recent years, and here's another. EA reportedly cancelled a third Star Wars game last year, and this one purportedly a spin-off of the Star Wars Battlefront series. Codenamed Viking internally, the shooter was initially expected to release in 2020 as part of Microsoft and Sony's next-gen console lineup, but when timescales slipped, the game was allegedly cancelled, making it the third Star Wars game to succumb to development hell alongside Amy Hennig's Ragtag and EA Vancouver's Orca. According to a new report by Kotaku, 6 individual insiders shared the news on the proviso the outlet did not compromise their did not compromise their anonymity. It's reported that EA Vancouver spent some time designing ideas and prototypes for Viking, and Criterion came aboard soon afterward. But that was when the problem started. Although Criterion was, on paper, the lead studio, the logistical challenges of cross-country game development made that a difficult proposition, Kotaku says. As one person involved with the game said, too many cooks was a running theme. It's now thought... Is this still on the screen for you guys? Oh, let me scroll down. Trying to use Bibby's laptop. There we go. Yes! Okay, it's now thought EA has 2 Star Wars games in development. A sequel to Jedi Fallen Order at Respawn, and a smaller, more unusual game at EA Motive in Canada. Electronic Arts' fan-favourite Star Wars RPG series, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, is also reportedly getting a reboot. It's thought the game will integrate elements from the first 2 titles in order to bring certain things into current Star Wars canon. While rumours of a Knights of the Old Republic reboot are floated fairly often, the source site did actually leak news of an upcoming Obi-Wan TV show last year, which makes the rumour all the more plausible. It's unclear whether the reboot is in the hands of the original developer BioWare, or if it's been passed to another studio in the EA family. But, as always, we'll keep you posted as and when we find out more. So, new Star Wars game.
Yep.
Potentially a spin-off of Battlefront was... mooted, allegedly going to launch alongside the new consoles, but due to delays was dropped, cancelled, and is not happening.
Uh-huh.
Is not happening. Lads, doorball?
Yeah. It's have you not seen the video of the kid trying to say Nakamura?
Oh, yeah. Is it opening? Is it cards or packs or
Yeah,
something?
it's like the Panini stickers.
Yeah, and he's like, he's
Shinsuke Nakamura, you fucking doorball.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad. Morning Precision. How's it going? Right, so let's go back to this one then.
Oh, let me just jump back now. Precision's here. Whilst I was up playing Battlefront at silly o'clock in the morning, Battlefield the other day when it was on a night beer sesh. Precision's like, go to bed. I'm expecting you on the scoop in the morning. I was like, I'm on the beers. That's what he responded with, lads.
Fucking loves it. So I only read like half of this, and then I kind of got a gist for it. But reading the bottom there.
If you missed it, sorry, you can watch it back on demand on Twitch, and it's also on YouTube a bit
fantastic.
later on in the day.
Where else can I watch it if it's just an audio? Listen to it if it's just audio.
I mean, if you can't watch it, then you can also get it on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, 4 podcast services, all of which, video and audio, will be linked on our Twitter. That's Ice Cream Uploads on Twitter, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to check it out. Check it out. Not now, though, because we're talking. That'd be rude.
So
it's rude when people do stuff and people talking. Okay, you make it.
We're at stalemate. So they dropped it in favour of what? What do you think?
Exclamation mark socials. Exclamation mark social.
It ain't working. The chatbot's dead. The chatbot's dead. I've restarted all the computers and everything this morning, so it's not been logged back in again.
So for those of you listening to this and or watching on YouTube, exclamation mark socials in the chat on Twitch gets all of our social links. Spoiler alert, they're all just at Ice Cream Uploads. But if you don't want to do that, you just type that and you get all the links. Job's good. However, chatbot's not turning this morning, so Ads and Precision are having an exclamation mark socials off in the chat.
So this then, what if they dropped it in favour of? They just dropped it all together?
Yeah, I think so.
There must be a reason. Like, we know, as I said at the bottom there, something that me and Luke have talked about because he's super excited about it. The fact that they're making Knights of the Old Republic, or they're remaking it again, is brilliant. Now, obviously, we did have, and there was a new story that I think I covered last week in the scoop, saying that they released the Fallen Order with bugs just to get it out at Christmas time. So does that mean that they didn't want to release this alongside those, or this must be for a reason? What have they got coming out that stopped them from doing this? I don't think
it'd be so much something coming out. I think they wanted the game to be out, not in windows around other games or anything. They wanted the games to come out alongside the launch of consoles. And if they weren't ready for the launch of consoles, they thought, oh, fuck it, we're going to miss that launch window, launch catalogue. Everyone's going to buy it because you've got little choices and boom, boom, boom. But because then they said... where was it? Cancelled. Timescale slipped. The game's allegedly cancelled. So it was initially expected to release in 2020 as part of the next gen console lineup, but when timescale slipped, the game was allegedly cancelled. So, knowing that they're probably already working on Fallen Orders and Battlefronts and Battlefields, so teams are already working on multiple things. Obviously,
Need for Speed as well.
Yeah. Well, they were looking at Respawn coming into working it, but Respawn were working on Apex as well. So it's probably a case of, I mean, I know that Apex, a lot of people across EA didn't even know that Respawn were working on this. I was speaking to, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this to some point. I know I could say some because it wasn't under it, but I won't name names of who told me. Someone at EA was telling me that they work across EA and they knew bits about it, but didn't really know what it was until it just kind of went boom. And this was like, they kind of knew about it when we found out, when Dr. Disrespect and everyone else was playing it. So Respawn were probably due to get involved on it, I'd imagine. I mean, could be hugely wrong. They were due to get involved, but then consoles and some delays, and respawn resources are taken up by Apex and all that's bringing. So they've just gone, okay, do you know what? We're not going to get in time. We've not got the resources. Our other teams are all busy and everything anyway. And they've said that Criterion was supposed to be involved with it as well. Criterion are the racing game side of things, aren't they?
Well, they've picked up Need for Speed now.
So I imagine all of that sort of stuff, they've just gone, do you know what? Yeah, let's just leave it there. Plus, there's the other thing, is if it's not coming out for 2020, if they delay that, I'm fairly sure EA only has Star Wars as licenses for 3 years left out of its 10-year contract. So if they're not coming out in end of 2020, and you've got a delay for that sort of time, so end of 2020, there's only going to be 2 years left. So for a game to come out a year after that leaves only 1 year, but then for anything like that, it'll be you've got to think it's got to be based on DLC. It's got to be based on DLC and extra content and everything. So their marketing calendar would have been, okay, we need to spam everything out in 12 months. So they've probably just gone, okay, we're not got it out. We've not got the teams right now. Everyone's busy working on multiple things. So for us to get a game out and shit out all of this content in 12 months' time, it's just not really going to be good for us in terms of, we could shit out all this content, it'd be amazing. And then it's like, okay, we're done now, lads. We've built up this massive game, but Disney could go, yeah, actually, do you know what? We don't want to re-sign or anything. So it could be any of that.
Well, with the lackluster start that they had with Battlefront 2, and it's now become a decent game. Like the lads upstairs on dinner are constantly playing it, and the player base seems to have grown as well. And then Jedi Fallen Order banging when it came out.
How far have you got into that?
Still the same place as it was before. I haven't really moved on yet.
It's funny because I did that. I got a good chunk into it and then stopped for like 2 weeks before I started playing it again. Yeah. So you've got another week yet before you.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna try and get it done before Samantha comes back anyway. Otherwise, I won't have enough time to play it again. But now they've brought the Fallen Order out. I don't know how the Fallen Order ends, but I imagine it's open ended enough for them to be able to milk another game out of it at least. Or a story in that timeline anyway. And then Battlefront 2 as well, whether or not they're going to do like a live service update rather than making Battlefront 3, whether or not they're going to prolong it. I imagine the money now would be in to make another Battlefield to try and lose the Battlefield 2 moniker and say we've got a new one coming out to try and bring in lapsed fans that potentially binned it off like you did when it came out because it was just an absolute shit show. Just stick a new number on it, repackage it and send it back out again and see what happens. Knights of the Old Republic being remade as well. Do you feel like we could potentially be overwhelmed with new Star Wars games? Fair enough, they're all different types of games. So you've got a third-person action-adventure game, you've got a first-person game, then you've got an MMO.
See, I don't necessarily feel... I mean, if they are different games, I think that's fine. Because that adds to the overall... Like, you can unite under the banner but still keep yourself separate. I remember going back to PS1 days, there was a Phantom Menace game... as well as Battlefront, kind of it was that sort of time zone there where you had the world buildery kind of stuff, plus the single player story modes, plus multiplayer kind of things. So yeah, the fact that if we get multiple games, I don't think it would be too much as long as they offer differences that are worthwhile. Spoilers, by the way. You said you're not finished Jedi Fallen Order. He actually turns into C-3PO at the end.
Really? Oh my god, I'd put my money on R2-D2.
Well, if you think about it, though, his name's Cal, begins with a C. C. 3PO.
See, you know what I love about Fallen Order, right? And it's not just obviously being in a Star Wars world. Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal in it, or Cam, whatever it's called, he was the Joker in Gotham.
He was also in Shameless.
Yes, he was.
Which I didn't know, because I've not really watched it until Mark told me. I was like, alright.
But yeah, if you haven't watched Gotham, watch Gotham. It's one of my favourite things on TV. It's amazing. It's like a Genesis story. It's like an origin story of Batman. He's like 13. I hope to God the guy who plays what's it called, David Muniz or something like that. I hope he becomes Batman in the future. Like we'll see him in like 15 years time and be the proper Batman, because that would be sick.
Well, I watched about an episode or two of Gotham with Danielle, and it was painfully boring.
I fucking loved it. It was amazing.
I have heard other people say though that it does start off like the opening episode is crap. In terms of it's not like on the flip side, something like Ray Donovan. the first episode of that is amazing, and then the rest of it's just like, and no wonder it's just been cancelled like a couple of weeks ago, kind of thing. I've heard the flip side that starts off a bit like limp, but then gets good.
In the Spider-Man universe, Spider-Man, Jesus Christ!
All right.
In the Batman universe,
Twitter is raging.
in the Batman universe, there's so many characters knocking about. It's so difficult to be able to introduce them all at one time. Shall we say so?
There's Batman, then Batboy, and Batgranny. And
Robin and Robin Boy
and older Robin and Dark Knight Man.
Yeah, so
child.
it's amazing. Like the character development over the 5 seasons that it was out for was incredible.
I may at some point in life come back to it, but from what I've seen, it's definitely not high up my list after what I've experienced so far. Anyway. Whoop. Let's jump forward. We do have a few more bits of news to go. So if you've just joined us, feel free to say hello in the chat. We've got a couple more stories for you as we jump in to this news article. Employees say sheer desperation drives GameStop's aggressive sales tactics. This is written by James Batchelor for GI.biz. Chain focuses on pre-orders and buying used phones with the potential threat of termination for staff who miss targets. Damn.
So the reason I've included this is because we've obviously talked about Game and their shitty sales tactics and trading values.
Aggressive retail tactics. So if you want this console, you have to spend 3 times its amount by buying extras. Yes, it's good value for money, but no, you don't really want it.
So you can get a feel of this article by getting probably halfway through. Now it is a lengthy one, so which is why I'm giving you the disclaimer. Which is why I'm giving you the disclaimer that we don't potentially have to read the whole thing, because you get an understanding like halfway through, and then it just goes into a little bit of other shitty stuff. But I've put it in because it whatever's going on over here is pretty much the exact same thing that's happening over in America as well.
Well, you tend to find that a lot of people this is a general statement, a lot of people that work in the games industry are involved in streams and content creation have had a background in terms of they either spent a lot of their youth in game stores or buying from game stores or actually worked in them. So there's a hint of relevance to this anyway. Well, a lot of relevance to this. So let's jump in. An extensive report into the state of GameStop has shown the company's financial troubles have made it desperate to increase sales, often to the detriment of its staff or even its customers. Polygon spoke to several current and former employees, including store managers and members of the corporate office, who spoke of the sheer desperation the retailer showed when it comes to making profit. GameStop's financial results have not made for happy reading over the past few years, with its latest results reporting that sales around Christmas 2019 were well below expectations. As such, the company has lowered its full-year guidance again, but management remains confident that this year's launch of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will deliver a much-needed boost in sales. Employees, speaking to Polygon under condition of anonymity, that's twice the full word today, are less convinced, pointing to ongoing, even aggressive sales tactics and a strict focus on sales targets that are doing little to counter the decrease in footfall. The shift towards digital has hit GameStop particularly hard, with one employee claiming Fortnite is killing the games industry, explaining that many customers under 18 only come in to purchase V-Bucks and not other games. They're still coming in to purchase things. I mean, if everything was shifting to digital, then they could just buy them online. So anyway. GameStop has been trying to participate in digital sales by selling cards with download codes for full titles, virtual currency or DLC. These items do not make much profit but do generate a lot of revenue and take up very little space in the store. However, some employees believe this is driving more customers to opt for digital purchases in future, which is true. I can see that. The pre-owned business, which has historically been a major source of revenue for games retailers, has also suffered both from the shift towards digital and customers' ability to sell unwanted games for more on sites like Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Why is that? Is that because value?
Is the thing that I love most about Facebook Marketplace is if I was to go and buy a game for £40 and I complete it in a week, I can sell it for £35 and someone will want to buy it.
Incorrect. If you go buy a game for £40 and you complete it in a week, you could sell it for £45 and someone will go and buy it. Genuine fact. I mean that kind of doesn't stand with the point of you always get a better bargain on Facebook Marketplace. You do get some people that are completely unaware of pricing on both sides. You will get people that think, well, I've just bought this game and I can see that other people are selling it for £60, so I'm going to sell it for £60. Yeah, but you paid £30 for it. It's opened. and there's literally a coffee ring stain on it. Yeah, but other people are selling it for 60 quid. So I'm going to, okay, fine, 59.99 because of the coffee ring stain. It's like, what? But then you will get like someone out there going, it's just down the road. I'll get that. I don't even have to get on the bus to go to GameStop or whatever. Anyway, to compensate, GameStop is becoming increasingly focused on buying, refurbishing and reselling used hardware and not just consoles. For years, the company has been dealing in second-hand smartphones and tablets, and staff reports the focus on this has become obnoxious. Polygon reports it has seen target sheets where managers are expected to give quotes for a phone purchased to 50 customers per week with the goal of getting 5 to sell their phone. Other targets include collecting 10 customers' contact information every day, with other priorities being driven to drive pre-orders or sign people up to GameStop's reward schemes. In fact, sales targets across the board have become so strict, one employee said failure to meet these goals was punished with warnings and eventually termination in their district. This
one in terms of game sales.
In terms of game sales, the retailers concentrate more and more on pre-orders, encouraging staff to urge customers to pre-order the games they want. Employees are even expected to read out lists of upcoming games in the hopes of securing pre-orders for other. Well, standing there going, Jedi Fallen Order! Like town crier at the back of the store. Hear ye, hear! We have one episode of The Witcher due to be released.
They're literally one game sale away from sending someone out with a sandwich board in the middle of the street with all the game titles coming out soon. Underneath, conversely,
the retailer reportedly orders excessive amounts of merchandise if certain items sell, as these offer much higher profit margins, but the result is excessive stock sitting in storerooms unsold. One manager said these restrictions actually contribute to the store failing to meet targets, convinced they would have made a ton more money on Christmas week if we just had some systems in stock. Most of the employees spoken to did not express confidence about the company's future. One former store manager predicted GameStop will close 1,000 of its 5,600 plus stores this year because games retail market is dying. You can read the full report at Polygon. Last year, GameStop unveiled plans to reinvigorate stores by renovating them and launching new ones that focus on specific areas like retro games. These pilot stores are currently being tested in its home market of the US. Absolutely 100% surprise, gasp. Did not realise that. No, we've talked on it a few times. It's disappointing to see the retail industry for video games like drop off in that sort of sense. But that is how things work.
Potentially, it's the way that the market it. That's why it's not working. It shouldn't be going the way that it is. The reason it's going the way that it is because they are being how they are.
I think I agree, but I also think it's a two sort of point thing. The market changes, so you've seen like Asda, Tesco, so there's Tesco Direct, Asda Direct, or whatever it's called, and the example I used before, the last one to take up that was Morrison's going, we don't think that'll catch on. And then, like last year, it made the news that Morrison's was like plummeting profits and like losing blah blah blah. So they're like, shit, let's make online. So they've got like a really crap version of online stuff, which they're fair enough. It's crap because it's new, but they're about 7 years behind people who've got to make up time fast. Yeah. Being behind in that sort of thing means you've got a working example of what's copy, so they'll catch up. The job's good. They've learned. They've got there.
Yeah.
But we don't have that level of competition in the UK. There is pretty much just Game and just GameStop or whatever. There's indies, but obviously it's not a full national chain. So they're going, yep, we've got it all, lads. It's just us. It's just us on all our customers. And then someone goes, actually, you can just buy shit online. You don't even need to go there. And it's like, it's all right, well, we're the only ones with stores. And it's like, yeah, but people aren't actually going to stores. And then so that's the first thing, is they've not gone, okay, we need to create something different. Everything is moving online. Brick and mortar stores are amazing for that tactile, hands-on experience. That's exactly the same as video game cases. The tactile, hands-on experience. We talk about liking them on your shelves and stuff like that. I like the idea of opening the plastic and having the special editions and stuff like that. But the majority of my games are digital at the moment now.
Why?
Well, the two reasons. One, because I work in the games industry and get them that way.
Yeah.
But the main reason for me is practicality of having it there. So the last... let's use PUBG as an example. I've got PUBG on PC, which I paid for, obviously, digitally. Got PUBG on my Xbox, which was a digital code that came with the console. But then I have PUBG on the PlayStation. I did get a code from a guy at Sony, but then I bought a code, I bought a version of the game for myself so that I could play with my daughter at the same time, play with Chloe. Hi Chloe, you're not watching this, but hi. You better not watching this, you better be in school. But I bought the second code, which would have been, actually, wrong, it was cheaper online. Because it was in a PlayStation sale or something like that. So it wasn't like there was a mega sale where it came down to like £8 or whatever. I spent like 16 or 20 quid or something like that. But it was like 25 quid to buy the game from Game. And that's like, I'm going to go in, pick up a box that has a digital code in it anyway. I don't think it was a disc. It might have been on PlayStation. Either way, anyway, that was the last. That's a good example. I bought that game because it was there. I wanted it now. It was accessible. And I already had the tactile stuff with other bits elsewhere. So I didn't need that. Whereas they don't offer me that sort of service on there, or they can do, but sometimes they'll be like, well, okay, we can send you this code, it'll be in 3 to 5 days via email, and it's like, it usually comes now, but the fact that you're telling me it's 3 to 5 days means, fuck off.
That's not a risk, not worth taking the risk.
I could literally walk to the Trafford Centre GameStop and back in like 5 hours kind of thing. It's a bit of a mooch, it's actually quite a long way, but still, I could do that 20 times-ish in the time it's going to take to get it in 5 days, so...
It will kill me inevitably when this does go, because I am definitely still one of them people that, fair enough, I might not buy much from there anymore, but I do like going in to have a browse. The reason I don't buy anything from there that more often than not is because if I was to walk 3 doors down in my local precinct, I can go to CEX and get it for half the price, regardless of if it's new or used. I have 1,000,001 used games in my collection. Just because I'm breaking the seal on the case doesn't necessarily mean that the game is going to be any different. Fair enough, it'll have probably a lot less scratches on it, but if the game works, then do you know what I mean? It's still going in my shelf.
A game to play, because I class that as... So I'm not buying a special edition, and I'm not buying a game that I've built up a long-standing love for. So it's a game that's, I'd like to try that, I'm going to play that, pick it up, buy it off the shelf. I would have no issue going, okay, 45 quid brand new, 38 quid pre-owned, and I'm literally right next to each other on a shelf in the same store, and it's guaranteed by the store kind of thing. If the 38 quid one's broken, I can bring it back and they'll give me one that works. I'd be like, well, okay, I'll take the 38 quid one. I'm saving 7 quid and getting the same thing. So I'd see no issue with that. But you never even get that to that point anymore. Like it used to be like 45 quid or 35 quid. It's now 45 quid, 41 quid, and it's like they've pushed the profits up so far on that sort of resale stuff. I mean, employees talking about sheer desperation tactics. The fact that they're not even happy with, okay, you need to squeeze profit out, you need to put the prices up, you need to do add-on sales that are not optional, they are necessary, they are... You have no option. You buy the PlayStation, you have to buy the VR headset, you have to buy the Move sticks, you have to buy these 3 launch games as well. That is horrible desperation, because that makes people go, well, I'm not going to buy from them feckers again.
Absolutely.
You're going to do what I did and buy your console from Sainsbury's. My PS4, my first one, bought from Sainsbury's because I'm not buying all that crap from Game, and it was cheaper in Sainsbury's as well. Sainsbury's was like, well, we know you're going to be in the store anyway, buying the console for what it should cost. $349 rather than $389 or whatever the prices were. So you buy that, and then if you're here, if you get a few packs of crisps and chocolates and whatever, we'll get maybe 5-10 quid extra profit off you. We'll take that 5-10 quid extra profit is better than no profit, and that's what they do. Is they go, okay, we'll do the desperation bundle where we'll force you to give us your details. We'll try to talk you into selling your phone, and we'll get 60 quid off you.
Yeah.
But that's it. You're going to feel so used and disappointed that you're not going to come back and spend another 10 quid and another 10 quid and another 10 quid.
The benefit of using software like Facebook Marketplace as well is because you have people who do swap for swaps. So if you complete a game, they've got a game that you want, you've got a game that they want, and you can just swap your games over. That's the beauty of having these physical ones. But if I'm paying £40 for the game and I'm going into a game and they're giving me £20, but then the game that I want's £35 or £40 again, I'm having to pay another £15 for it. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
Like, it's just shitty. Bring your stuff in, we'll give you the bare minimum that we can have, but then we'll put it back on the shelf for an extra £20 on top of what you brought it in for. That doesn't benefit me, the customer, or the consumer that's going to be picking it up again right after me.
What a video game company like that needs is, and I get they wouldn't do it because it would harm other areas of the business. So if they know that you come into, let's say you're CEX, you come into store,
I will give you £10 for your game and I'm going to sell it for 20 quid. And it's like, yeah, but I'm only getting 10 quid. You're a store, you're not playing it. Someone else is going to buy it for 20 quid. So you might as well stand outside the store then with your game and going, I'm selling this. And the guy going, oh, I'm going to buy that. How much is it? Well, it's 20 quid in there, so it's going to cost you 20 quid. Give me 15 and you'll save a £5. I'll get a £5. We'll cut them out.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, oh, we both win. So yeah, let's do that. So they're never going to want to hook you up together because they take themselves out of it. However, they've lost that market. Social media, allowing people to interact and integrate using marketplaces and things like that, they've already lost that market. So a business like that kind of needs to go, okay, you can buy it directly from us. You will get all of the guarantees and everything that you get from buying it from us secondhand. However, we also have our trader hub where we do allow you to create like a forum, a Discord kind of thing where you can all share and swap between each other and stuff like that. But by owning that space, you're still relevant in their mind. You're still getting the user base. You can still contact them and things like that. That seems for me a better longer term plan. However, it will they'll never do that because in doing that, they are going to introduce people that are going to sell each other and then take themselves out of money.
If the human race wasn't generally a piece of shit, then you could, someone could have made a website where you can, like you say, just swap games. So I would post mine to you, you would post yours to mine, but you know full well people are going to say, I've posted it, it's just got lost in the post. Yeah, if it wasn't a piece of shit like that, then people, we could have been way further along in this kind of thing anyway, like trade for trade and things.
What was that website where you used to rent DVDs just for...
Love Film,
yeah. So you'd like get it sent in the post, watch it, and send it back, kind of thing.
I used to rent games from a place called Boomerang when I first got my PlayStation, and it was an insane deal. It was like £10 for up to 4 discs for the month. So when I couldn't afford to be able to go out and buy brand new games, I'd go onto the website, put all the games that I want into my profile. When I sent a game back or sent 2 games back, they would then send me the next 2 that are in my list, and I put priorities on and things like that. That was perfect. For like £10 a month, I'd be able to get all these different games. But I was spending so long completing the games that I was just holding on to them. Like I'd be playing one game, the other one would be sat there. So eventually, I got rid of it. But that was another perfect. Like the amount of trust that you have between your consumer holding your game. Like you physically got a £40 game in your hand, and you're paying £10. Like there's a £30 dividend somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, for them, it's the reselling it. You buy it for 30 quid, let people think it's a 40 quid game.
Yeah.
You rent it out 4 times and you've got your 10 quid back, your 10
I don't
quid
even know
profit.
if it's still going anymore, Boomerang Games.
I imagine something like that for games could potentially work, but something like that for films obviously will have died off because of the likes of Netflix and things like that. CEX and EA was a pain for me buying second-hand games. For me, I bought Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 2142 for about 15 quid combined, and they wanted 20 to reassign the activation code. Yeah, that's the thing. I had the same thing with Bad Company 2 or Battlefield, I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, we had the same thing. I had the game, bought it new. Martin had the game, bought it second hand, but didn't realise that he needed to pay for the online shit, so that was an extra 20 odd quid for him. So yeah, that's the downside with paying for second-hand games. But downsides, particularly with the likes of EA and Activision, until recently would do that kind of stuff. Now the fact we're in a battle pass sort of territory where you get the game as a basic layer, everyone gets it. But then if you want the additional stuff, you pay for the 8 quid for your season pass or your battle pass or whatever. It happens less often now. But what is Boomerang still going?
It's still going. I just logged into my account, and the games that I've got in my basket are Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, Mad Max, and Heavy Rain. And Beyond Collection. So yeah, it's still going for as little as £3. This isn't an endorsement, by the way. It's just literally on their home website. For as little as £3.99 a month, you're able to get all this shit.
Firefly Media in the chat. Hopefully the next Battlefield is more modern. Is this Firefly Media that basically created the shit hot setup that we're sat in? Is that Firefly Media? It's good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, still morning. Okay, still morning. Yeah, I want more modern. I don't want World War One, World War Two. It's not for me. I don't want wall running. Don't want space suits. Don't want guns that don't have red dot sights. They only have iron sights. I don't want that. I want now modern day sort of stuff. That's what I want. Give me that. So yes, let's move on. While Bibby just rekindles his love for Boomerang.
The website still looks exactly the same. They've not moved on whatsoever.
We absolutely need to get onto them hashtag spawn.
Yeah, please.
So yes, GameStop, and obviously by our powers of stretching facts, most likely GameStop stores are in sheer desperation mode in terms of trying to boost sales. Game has started to diversify a little bit by adding the Belong arenas, and they've just bought a bunch more stuff, and they are... they've just, what was it, Oxford, I always get the wrong one, Oxford Road, Manchester, Oxford Street in London, the big flagship store, they've just redone that. We've actually been invited down to go check that out sometime soon for our esportsy bits, so we will no doubt be checking that out soon. So they are trying to diversify. They've just been bought out by Mike Ashley, who owns Sports Direct and Newcastle United. So good businessman in terms of maximising his profits, not so sure about business. We will see. But yes, anyway, moving on.
I'm sorry, mate, I'm going to have to leave you again.
Do you need a wee-wee? Me too.
We'll take it in turns and I'll read the next one.
Okay, jumping on to our next bit of news. Boston Mayor asks Sony to reconsider its absence from PAX East over coronavirus concerns. Written by Emily Gera for VG247. The article says Boston's mayor is urging Sony to attend PAX East 2020 after the company confirmed it would not appear this year amid growing concerns over the coronavirus. In a letter sent to PlayStation CEO Kenihiro Yoshida, I hope that's right, and published by WCVB, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh maintains the risk of individuals contracting the coronavirus in Boston and Massachusetts is extremely low. The letter specifically refers to these concerns as both anti-Chinese and anti-Asian, stating that misinformation has played a central part in the growing fear of the virus spreading throughout the United States. And then there's a quote in the article that says, "These fears reinforce harmful stereotypes that generations of Asians have worked hard to dismantle," read Walsh's letter. "They trigger our worst impulses to view entire groups of people with suspicion, to close ourselves off, and to miss out on the opportunities and connections our global city provides. Boston is united in our efforts to dispel these harmful and misguided fears." Walsh specifically urged PlayStation to play a role in pushing back against these fears. And into another quote, it says, as a large international company, you have an opportunity to set a good example, Walsh wrote. As a leader in technology, you can show that you are motivated by facts, not fear. As a leader in gaming and culture, you can show that you believe in connection, not isolation. As it stands, one Boston resident has been confirmed to have contracted the virus after returning from a recent trip to Wuhan, the Chinese city. Is that Wuhan or is it Wuhan? Okay, I didn't realize that. Wuhan, the Chinese city at the centre of this outbreak. The 20-year-old man is a student at the University of Massachusetts and is in isolation at home while he recovers. Sony announced it would not be attending the event last week. And then we go into a comment from Sony. Today, Sony Interactive Entertainment made the decision to cancel its participation at PAX East in Boston this year due to increasing concerns relating to COVID-19, also known as novel coronavirus. The company wrote at the time, "We felt this was the safest option as the situation is changing daily. We are disappointed to cancel our participation in this event, but the health and safety of our global workforce is our highest concern." Sony is yet to reply directly to the Boston mayor. Other cancellation or event delays of late due to concerns over the virus include the Taipei Game Show, April's PUBG Global Series in Berlin, numerous developers at GDC 2020, and The Outer Worlds was delayed for Switch.
Awesome.
Bateson host? Oh, really? I haven't seen that one in my notifications, but if it is, thank you, Bateson.
Thank you very much, Bateson. So these are basically the need PlayStation to come so they could try and make more money for their city, regardless of like endangering people's lives or whatever that may be for the reason that they're pulling out. It all comes down to money, doesn't it, for the mayor? He wants the big hitters to come so that people will stay over, a bit more travel and tourism and the amount of money that will bring in.
Yeah, you kind of feel it's, I don't know, it's difficult to say. There's a couple of sides to it. So he wants Sony coming in because he's the mayor of a city. He wants eyes on a city. He wants the fame, the fortune, the tourism. He wants Graham to spit a bit while he's talking. Sorry, I apologize. Let's come for a game. So he wants that exposure, but I don't necessarily think that's the best way of doing it. He's essentially saying that Sony are buckling under racist pressures. He's basically, I don't know if you've read the article, he was basically saying the West have essentially said that all Asian, what was it, the word he used, Asian, anti-Chinese and anti-Asian. He thinks that the fears are being misinterpreted, and they're basically saying that Chinese and Asian people are infected. It's not like Resident Evil, mate. That's not how it works. But by throwing those words out, it sounds like he's almost trying to scare them in, to make them go, are you racist or are you not? Yeah.
There's over 10,000 people that have got this virus. Like, there's over 2,000 people that have died.
Like over 70,000 people.
To be fair, that sounds more right. And I think there's only 2,000. There's only
2,500 people dead. It's fine.
But yeah, that's a pandemic. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not as if someone in the office has got a flu. Like. Yeah, an entire city's worth of people.
We're literally on the verge of being global pandemic. So it is a big thing. And yes, there has only been one person in Boston that's had the virus. And yes, they came directly from Wuhan themselves. But it's not just about the people that are there. It's about everything else that comes in. So yes, Sony's guys only live down the road from PAX. They can just get an Uber from the office or whatever. They can jump on a train. Most of them probably live within walking distance if they're from the local offices. But that's not to say that everyone else that's coming in is the same. If it's PAX, it's literally packed. Yeah. That's the thing. People come from everywhere to be there, not just developers, but the great unwashed like us that might be turning up. Oh, hi, I'm just here to play games, kind of thing. Those guys might have infections and things with them as well, and they don't have to touch you. They could be sat next to someone else and pass it to them, and then pass it around, and before you know it, it's just gone. Yeah. A big gathering of people like that is what could accelerate it. I mean, yes. It's probably unlikely, and yes, there may be some anti-Chinese, anti-Asian notes underpinning that in terms of people going, actually, we've been misinformed. But the flip side, it's life. I mean, you've got profits and exposure versus potential death.
Yeah. But for me, it's a two-pronged thing. So me and Luke went into a little bit of detail about this last week. When we've been to conferences or when we've been to shows or whatever it may be, like I tend to take the antibacterial wipes or the hand gels and stuff like that. So as soon as I've finished playing on a console, I'll either wipe it down and I'll wash my hands or whatever it may be, because ultimately you are touching something that somebody else has had their greasy hands all over, that could have been they've literally just been for a shit, they've not washed their hands, and then they're touching the control, and you're touching railings, doors, whatever it may be, and every time you come back from a conference or whatever, because you're so run down, you get the lurgy, you get a cold sore, land flu is obviously a massive thing as well. So
I'm quite a tactile person in terms of someone comes up to the stand, I'll handshake, shake hands, and I'll hand on the have a seat, and that's fine when it's people you know or whatever. But let's be honest, there are some grubby people in the world. So you could be touching someone that's just been to the toilet, shake his hand, not whatever. You could be the sweatiest man in the world, because conventions get hot. That hand on the shoulder could be.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not a virus or anything like that. That's just general unwashedness, or shall we say, or something like that. It's one of them things. If you go into these shows, you expect that. What you don't want is to be hosting one of the biggest conferences in the world, having one of the biggest hitters in the world showing their games off or whatever, and then people from contaminated areas, shall we say, coming over and potentially spreading this airborne virus, and then infecting the rest of the people, who will then go back to their countries and then taking it with them. It should be common sense at this point. And regardless of what he's trying to look after his city, he'll say whatever he needs to do to try and get more people to come, spend money, stay over, and do whatever to do to propel their travel and tourism. I get that, but you're coming across as a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah, I mean, it rather than saying it's anti-Asian, anti-Chinese, give the facts. Say, well, actually, I think you find that it's all being misrepresented. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, represent it then. What are the facts? Why should we know? Yep. That's the thing. He's not really gone into the detail. There we go. So not even he adds the detail about one Boston resident has been confirmed with the virus. Emily Gera from VG247 has done that research. Mm-hmm. So what are the facts? If they're misrepresenting it, give us the story. Because all I know is the World Health Organization have said that it was over 2,500 people have died and then like 70,000 people have been infected. Italy has now had borders closed because it's the most infected country in Europe with like, I don't know, 100 people or whatever, what the numbers were. So while I'm getting our stats that sound, okay, well, this is getting bigger and bigger than we thought initially. So maybe some level of, it could be killing a fly with a nuke rather than a fly swatter, but you're still killing the fly. I mean, sorry, flies, if no offense. Especially when we've got a firefly in the chat.
No flies was harmed in this analogy.
So yeah, I mean, it could be killing a fly with a nuke, but you're getting the same end game.
Yeah.
You're sorting it out for the good of the people, and not only that, there could be other things as well. So Firefly says, you think they could have just sent some game footage? Exactly, it could be that. Sony could have gone, yeah, we're going to PAX. And then someone's gone, actually, you do realise that our game's fucked. We just found this massive bug in it. And they could be like, fuck, we're not going to PAX. Yeah. Coronavirus. Yeah. Massive all of the coronas. Yeah, we don't like any lagers at all. So, yeah, it could be that. And Boston Mayor, by basically accusing them of being racially profiling a full people and saying, yeah, all Asian people aren't infected. And it's like, Sony is a Japanese firm. Well, it's hard. Yeah, fair enough. It'll be the US guys that'll be making and looking after that event kind of thing. But it's a Japanese company. They're not going to go, yeah, well, we don't like Asian people, because I don't think it kind of works like that, mate. So yeah. It's a little bit yikes, but you're not going to get them to go back if they've already said,
yeah,
we want to look after the health of our global workforce. If you're going to go, actually, do you want to come? They go, actually, do you know what? Sack the health of our global.
We'll listen to the mayor of this city this guy that we've never even heard of. He's obviously right. He's obviously got a doctorate or whatever in his spare time. He knows what he's talking about. We'll listen to him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got no facts. He's not presented any information that would change anything. But we're racist. So yeah, he's got that nailed on.
Dimwit.
Anyway, one final bit of news, and I've been off for a week.
It's about time we bring it back. Yeah. Get that bell out. Bing, 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 bing.
PUBG news today, written by Kirk, McKeand for VG247. He says, streamers are leaving PUBG, and the most upvoted comment on Reddit is a fuck you to the developer. So PUBG players are not happy. I repeat, PUBG players are not happy. The PUBG subreddit is currently filled with players complaining about issues with their once favourite battle royale. There's no denying it, PUBG is still an incredibly popular game. However, its player base has been slowly dropping this past couple of years, despite new content drops. In April 2018, the game averaged 1.1 million concurrent players and enjoyed peaks of 2.5 million. In the last 30 days, the average concurrent player count sits at around 250,000. While many game developers would give their left arm to have such a large audience, it's a massive drop for a game that's been supported so much. So what's going on? If you look at the most upvoted comment on the game's subreddit, it seems people are annoyed that the game's bugs and performance are being left alone in favour of new content drops. Players are talking about things like player movement, which has been left behind in the wake of a slicker battle royale games such as Apex Legends. There's also a lot of complaints about PUBG hackers who use aimbots to ruin the game for other players. Elsewhere, there's a bug that makes the game lag whenever a player aims down sights, which you don't tend to do very often in a shooter game. And then there's more crashes than ever. Performance is shot to shit, just like me when I play PUBG. This post with 400 upvotes lays out some of the biggest issues. That's a link in the article there. Another post with nearly 3k upvotes highlights how Choco Taco, one of the most positive PUBG streamers, has announced that they're taking a break from the game due to its myriad issues. And then there's an embedded tweet from Choco Taco that says, PUBG is a mess. New patch brought a handful of new bugs as usual. A lot of people still can't play the game without constant packet loss or stuttering. Server location keeps changing with no communication. New features don't even work. Not having fun. Decided to go on customs early. And again, all of my custom presets don't work. And all of my custom presets don't work again. Loads of issues never get addressed. It's hard to enjoy the game a lot of the time. Whenever this COD BR launches, I will be taking a break from PUBG. Players are now pressuring Blue Balls Entertainment. That's a Dr. Disrespect reference for those of you who don't know. Players are now pressuring Bluehole to either roll the game back to pre-season 6, which likely won't happen, or to be more open and communicate with the audience. Most of the performance issues happened with the release of the new season, and it also introduced a host of bugs. Redditors are also pointing at past development roadmaps. Here, Bluehole promised more sound improvements, but players are reporting that the audio has only gotten worse. Funny, they've just added a new audio to grenades, so you just go. Now they just kind of go.
It's like a.
It sounds like it combust.
Did you ever stamp on a Ribena carton? It sounds like that. But anyway, some people are even using custom keys near WASD so they can adjust the volume on the fly to counter issues during play. Then there's the floating weapons and items bug, which has been around for 2 years. I actually saw that yesterday. When did I last play it? Yesterday, so I saw it every time I play it. The thing that bothers people most, though, is how the developer prioritizes new content and battle passes over fixing and tuning the core of the game, which is what attracted people in the first place, after all. Maybe now that high-profile streamers are leaving the game, Bluehole will start to take notice of what the community wants. Cross-platform parties are the latest addition to PUBG, is the final link to article at the end. But yes, long story short, and I can absolutely 100% vouch for this. I've said it quite a lot on the stream over the past few months. Anyone that's been listening to the stream will have heard me get increasingly frustrated, and that's the word there, is frustrated. I'm not angry, I'm not negative. I played the game last night and absolutely enjoyed it at times, but it's so frustrating. That floating weapons bug is basically you could be running along and all of your weapons in your loadout will just freeze in midair. I mean, you keep going, but the game is basically going, there's a guy with an SKS and an M4 going this way. So it's like, oh, well, I know exactly what weapons he's got. I know how to approach this situation. I know where he's going. So you run over the hill, and then you'll see, oh, there's some weapons over that way. So he's gone over the hill into that way. And you essentially get a stutter of markers of where he's been. It's like footprints. Why did you just fucking put footprints in the game? That at least gives something. But yeah, so that sort of stuff. I mean, that's tiny, and it doesn't happen all the time. And it could be a case of you could see the weapon in one place, but a player can get in a vehicle and feck off and whatever. But it's a tiny little piece of shit that's been there forever. Fix it. I've paid for like 5 battle passes now, 8, 16, 24, whatever, 30 quid-ish, somewhere around that. 40 quid. Something like that. 40 quid's worth of battle passes I've paid, and there's bugs that have been there in the first one that are still there in the later one. Yes, they are adding new stuff. I'm not in the camp. There's a lot of people you will see. There's one of the community team. I don't know if he's the lead of the community team, but a guy called Hawkins. On Twitter, tweeted something out about, yes, we understand there's a lot of negativity. We should be better. We are working on a lot of stuff, and just because you're not seeing stuff don't mean that we're working it, but we do need to improve our communication. That's the issue, is we're not communicating enough, which I fully get, and it's shit that he as a community guy's having to communicate these things, whereas it should be top down. They should be communicating. He said that they are working on those communication lines and stuff like that, but the transparency, there was a fixed PUBG campaign when we started playing on PC a year ago, and that was good. It was like, okay, we've noticed that this is shit, we've noticed that that is shit, we've noticed that that is shit. And then it was like, oh, nice, they're going to fix all these things, and we've got a clear roadmap of what's coming and whatever. And then it just went, PUBG is fixed. it didn't. They just stopped, and that's the end of the fixed PUBG campaign, so you're no longer going to fix it now. What a shit message that is. So
it should just be an ongoing thing, really, shouldn't it?
It should be.
Especially for a live service game that you pay for a battle pass that'll last 2 months, for instance. You still want more people to come and play. If there's bugs, have it on your timeline to be able to fix. I mean, it's just transparency in it.
There's all sorts of stuff though. So like console desync between Xbox and PlayStation. That will be low on their list because console's probably not compared to their PC player base. But it exists. It probably exists both ways. I experience it as a player that mainly plays on the PlayStation. Xbox players essentially are a step up, but no doubt they will have the same from their side. Maybe servers favour certain platforms, whatever it is, I don't know. Desync is an issue across the board. That's something they should be looking at. Sorry, go on.
No, go on. I was
going to say there's all that. There's audio issues. Games just booting you out. Like, oh no, game crashed, got to go out, and then you try to load back in. Or when you win a game, I had one yesterday. I won a game, went back to the lobby, and it's like, the game is still in progress. Do you want to reconnect? I was like, I've literally just won the game and been booted by the game because the game stopped. And it's like X to reconnect, circle to cancel. Well, I don't want to go back into the game because it's finished. Circle.
Well, you just cached.
Circle. Okay. X, reconnect. And then I get stuck on a loading screen that lasts forever. And it's like, wonderful, I have to kill my game now and reopen it now. And basic stuff. And then when I talk about basic stuff, you go into the menus and like, one of the worst things in the world for and it's absolutely not, it's pure first world pains, but that's what makes it more painful, is when stuff just doesn't work instantly. It works, but not instantly. So imagine you're in a menu and you want to go,
like you're up on there and you want to go 2 across and down to click on that one.
Yeah.
You go, so on your buttons you're going right, down. And it goes clink. And you're like, oh, it's not done it, so you go right down and it goes clink, 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 clink. And it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, that'll drive me up the wall.
And the menus genuinely are that bad. You'll press it, and they've changed the menus as well. So like they changed the functions. From a UX perspective, it'll be like press R1 to jump to the next menu tab, or use left and right sticks or whatever to go through the menus that you're on. And it's fine. And it's like and you used to go to the battle season pass. You press your control pad thingy in and press R1 and that job was good. But now they changed it to press R1, flick your stick, then use your buttons, and it's just like you're like,
it's just not user friendly at all.
So yeah. Anyway, long story short, it's I prefer Hunt Showdown. It's BR but with a twist. Is that the one that Lee tagged me in something the other week?
Yes, it was. I've seen Beans playing that. It must have been in early access, way before Christmas. It looked good. But I'm having a look at what's on Twitch at the moment, and Fortnite is the leading BR with 49,000. Escape from Tarkov, not really BR, but we'll include it for this. 44,000. Apex 29,000.
PUBG got less than 10.
17.
I was watching last night, flicking through streams, and it was about 8,000 concurrent viewers. I mean, Sunday night is quite a low night, late UK night. There was about 66,000 people watching. It was either 66,000 watching Fortnite or Tarkov, and PUBG was like 8,200 people, which is incredibly low for a game that has 250,000 concurrent viewers, and that's a low count. It was like when it said 2.5 million concurrent. So yeah, they need to. I've said a few times they need a PUBG 2, but as more time goes, I don't think have PUBG 2 now. I think fix PUBG.
Yeah.
Fix it. You have to. There is no way. Fix PUBG. You're not going to get the player base back. You're not going to get to 2.5 million at all. It's had its day. So fix the game. Get everyone happy with it and go, do you know what? It's taken a shitload of time, but they finally fixed stuff. And they were talking about player movements and stuff. That is something that's been thrown out a million times. Oh, we're going to fix the movement and animation system. I remember when they added vaulting in, because you get to walls and you couldn't vault over it.
Yeah.
Now they auto vault, but it's slow and clunky and shit. But not only that, you could be running along a flat surface. Let's bring the camera in close. You could be running along a flat surface like that. In your mind, it's like, it's flat, I'm running over it. But on PUBG, it'd be like, oh, there's a knobble out the ground like that. I don't know if you can even see my fingers. So that's my finger there is a knobble. If you listen to this, then God help you're trying to decipher what I'm saying. Basically, you're running along the flat ground. I won't even do it with my fingers. You're running along the flat ground. There's a tiny nubbin of a boulder or something that in any other game you'd step over. PUBG, you hit it, and you're like running on the spot. Jump over it, get over it. So then you press jump, but because you're not moving forward, you jump up and down in the spot. So to get over this tiny irrelevant nubbin, you have to step back and then jump over it, and that's why you get like
semi-under.
This fucking unathletic game.
It would proper semi-under that.
So stuff like that needs to be fixed, and they've been saying shit like that forever. So, but they need to do it. They need to fix all of that before they can even think about doing a PUBG 2, because it's like, well, you couldn't do PUBG 1.
What about if they're working on PUBG 2 now?
I would be embarrassed for them if they're not. They are working on Prologue, but even, I mean, when I say if they're not, I don't necessarily mean they're full on into development, but they at least need to be storyboarding and concepting at this point. And absolutely, it doesn't even need to go through a greenlighting process for me. It should be auto greenlit. We are making a PUBG 2. Don't do Chapter 2 like Fortnite. As Fortnite is still running, there's still lots of happiness with it. There are people that don't like certain bits on it and whatever, but overall they're producing fixes as fast as content, whereas PUBG guys aren't. They need to fix it before they look to add the content. The downside is if they don't add the content, they become irrelevant, but they need to fix before they add any more content, because you're just making more things that are broken. I prefer Hunt Showdown. It's BR with a twist, out on PS4 now. Oh, is it PS4 as well? I thought it was just PC only. Interesting. I'll have to check that one out. I mean, I did get tagged in it. Lee, one of our directors, tagged in saying this sounds like it could be a Graham Day loving, and I did look at it, but then I had a week off and just got drunk for a week, so I've forgotten everything about the world now. Anyway. Anything you want to add on PUBG or anything before we start to wrap things up?
9.
Do you want to add any sort of like ETAs and turnarounds on when you're next going to play PUBG? I'm guessing that's a 9 too.
I mean, if for whatever, obviously not tomorrow because I'm playing football, but at some point this week, I've got the house to myself. If you wanted to boot it up on PC, we can give it a go and stream it. That's really not a problem.
We should jump in, have some of that, and then also try the some Battle Pass sessions for Fortnite as well.
Easy. Easy. I've literally, as soon as I get home, hopefully, between 6 and 8:30, I'm going to get in, quick bit of scran, and then stream till I go to bed at about 9:30.
Lads. Sweet. Okay, well that's gonna be it. We're gonna have a session this week.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Good for me.
As well, speaking of sessions this week, if you haven't been checking out Ice Cream Uploads social media, check out at Ice Cream Uploads on Twitter. Spoiler, at Ice Cream Uploads is our username everywhere because it's such a unique name. No
one has it.
So we have Ice Cream Uploads everywhere. Check out the Twitter account and you will see that the Ice Cream Uploads Invitational 3, that's the triple threat, is happening this Friday. I have it confirmed as well that we have front page on Twitch. I mean, I've mentioned it before, but I only had that confirmation for definite come through last week. So not only will we be live on Twitch on Ice Cream Uploads, twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, but we will be on the front page of Twitch too. We have 8 teams of 3 players. We have a lot of guys from the PES community, graced by a team of wildcards, which was announced on the weekend. I'll let people go into that in a second. And we also have the likes of the Redmen TV are jumping in as well. So if you're not happy with the state of the league at the moment, Liverpool's topping the table, then maybe you can see people taking
out these guys.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not. Maybe we will see. But yeah, that is taking place at 6:30 this Friday. Myself and Bib will be in the studio. We will have all of the action, all of the mediocre commentary that you can digest in 5 or 6 hours, and it will all be live on the front page of Twitter. I say all, we have a slot. I need to confirm what that is, but we have 2 hours where we're on front page anyway. Anyway, we are on front page. Big news for our tiny little channel, and we absolutely appreciate the fact that you guys are also dropping in each and every single weekday, dropping your hosts, dropping your likes, dropping your subs. That obviously helps us do that, so we very, very much appreciate. And if you are watching now, and you don't know what the invitational is, then make sure you hit the follow button, because we've got a few shows before then, but if you hit the follow button now on Twitch, you will get notified when we do go live at 6:30 p.m. Friday. So we have a wildcard team.
We do have a wildcard team that got announced on... I was in negotiations. I say negotiations. I was basically just getting information from them all Friday. And I didn't get the announcement graphic done until the morning when I received the pictures. So it is one of the players who's representing Scotland, and then 2 players that represent 2 players from Austria that played in the 2018 regional finals for PES League. So that's going to be a hell of a team. But the fixtures I'm going to try. Well, I've got the graphics done. Fixtures I'm going to aim for getting them out at 2 o'clock today. So we've got all the graphics sorted out for that. So you'll be able to find out who's playing who first.
Nice. I've seen the graphics. So has Bib, because you did them.
I made them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, doing invitationals, as much as I love doing offline events and stuff like that. This is our own stuff. It's our rules. It's our night to be able to put on a show for everybody else. And if you've ever watched or any played them in them before, they've got better and better. And this time, it's such a cliche thing to say, it is going to be our best one so far. The prizes that we've got are better than we've ever had before.
Yeah, it's the first time we've had brands backing it as well. So
exactly.
we've had brands involved in it. Like obviously, official PES have given us prizes to give away for the last few, and they're backing this as well. Not in terms of officially endorsing it, but give us a nice pat on the back with social coverage as well. So shout out to the official PES team, but the fact that GT Omega and Nakon have provided prizes for you guys as well. That's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Absolutely.
So yes, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Make sure you hit follow on the channels now. You will get notified. PES Pro UK and 2 players from Vice Verdistiana. Yes, me too as well. I agree. That's White Sausage, Indiana. What's Indiana?
My English is poor.
Vice is white. Verst is sausage. Vice Verst, Indiana. There you go. White sausage men.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, on that bombshell, let's end things. It's been a good start to the week. We have 4 more scoops each and every single weekday. We go live at 10 a.m. So we have 4 more scoops left, plus 2 streams from Josie tomorrow and Wednesday. Is she back on Dishonored?
Yes. I don't know how far away she is from finishing that. So stay tuned.
Yeah, plus potential, I mean, you've heard it first, potential extra streams because Bibby's unsupervised. We will see.
Well, I definitely will be streaming tonight. What I'm playing, I don't know. Chance that it probably will be FIFA, but we'll see.
We will see. So yeah, that's kind of it. Anything else you want to add before we disappear, Bib?
As always, if you do see anything knocking around the video game hemisphere news-wise, then feel free to tag Ice Cream Uploads. Myself, we've got Albino and Graham_Day. We'll be able to pick up that news, take your thoughts, give our thoughts on the show the very next day.
Lovely. So have yourselves a fantastic day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday. We know we can't do anything about that. But what we can do is promise that we will be back at 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow. I may not be on the show. It may be Bibarino and Luke tomorrow. But we will see how that goes. Whatever happens, the show will go on with or without me. So 10 a.m, twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. As mentioned, we will turn this into a YouTube on-demand video and 4 different audio places where you can digest it. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play. Get us wherever you want us. That's what she said. Hunter's new Amazon show is good. More desperate chasing of James and Odegaard. Exactly, that's Bibi tonight.
If you want to piss myself at, he spent literally, him and Ads was like giving me pointers all Saturday about trying to get us. For fuck's sake.
If you want to know what he's on about there, James and Odegaard and Desperate Chasing, then the best way is to check out this full video, either on demand on Twitch or on YouTube. Simple as that. But have yourselves a lovely day, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to stay frosty.